So, what book did you read for your independent reading project?
I read An Abundance of Katherines by John Green.
Can you give me a summary of your book?
My book is about an 18-year-old boy named Colin Singleton. He's a child prodigy because his level of intellect has always been above everyone around him. His life goal has always been to matter and mean something to people, and he's also obsessed with dating Katherines. He has dated 19 in his entire life. In the beginning of the book, Colin was obsessed with finding his eureka moment and turning into a genius. An example is when Colin says, "The problem exactly is that she dumped me, that I'm alone. Oh my God, I'm alone again. And not only that, but I'm a total failure in case you haven't noticed. I'm washed up. I'm formerly the boyfriend of Catherine 19, formerly a prodigy, formerly full of potential, currently full of crap." Not only was Colin obsessed with becoming a genius, but he was also obsessed with creating a theorem that would be able to explain all of his breakups in the past and predict breakups in the future. By the end of the book, Colin realizes that what is going to make him happy is not what people think of him, but what he feels about himself and how he perceives himself. He was always living off an image of what he was supposed to be and that he was supposed to be a genius, and it was like his goal. But he needed to be pushed outside of his comfort zone and see what the real world was like and how it would treat him. John Green's purpose for writing this was to talk about how people are obsessed with mattering to people and being something when in reality the likeliness of that happening is slim to none.
How can you connect this book to the real world?
It connects to our town, Westport, because it's so competitive and everyone wants to be something and go to the best college and be the best at every sport, but in reality it's one person is the best. It's the best of the best. And it's like how Colin's obsessed with becoming the best person he could be, becoming perfect, discovering something, being amazing, but that's not going to happen.
What was the main conflict in the book?
The main conflict for Colin was to figure out what theorem would best describe his relationships with all of the Katherines. He wanted to create the theorem to predict when and how he would get dumped in the future by Katherines and why he was previously dumped. But his real issue was trying to discover why he didn't matter to them and why he was always broken up with, and it was like a constant thing.
What theme did you get out of reading this book?
The theme I got out of reading this book was that you don't have to matter to everyone to matter to yourself and to be important.
Who are a few other really important characters in the book?
One of them is Hassan, his best friend. He's kind of lazy and isn't doing anything with his life, yet he can, and Colin always pushes him to do something, and it makes him realize that he should just let Hassan do what he wants to do until he's ready, and that Colin should think of it the same way. Another extremely important character in the book is Lindsay, a girl he meets when he goes to Gutshot, Tennessee on a road trip with Hassan. She takes him out of his comfort zone and allows him to see the world outside of his bubble that he's living in, outside of his perfection. She shows him a different side of her that she never showed anyone, and he does the same for her, and they realize how similar they are and how they connect.
What was your impression of the book?
I really enjoyed reading it because it was a topic not really discussed in the way it is discussed in this book, and it really interested me.
What is your favorite literary element that John Green used?
I really liked how he used footnotes at the end of some of the pages to better explain what he is saying and kind of make it funny. Like an example, he wrote the word zakat, and at the bottom he wrote "giving to the poor, one of the pillars of Islamic faith," which explains what he's talking about without taking away from the text.